Good morning and welcome to Sask Organics Organic Grain Market Spring 21 webinar. My name is Marla Carlson and I'm the Executive Director of Sask Organics, and I will be moderating today's session. I'm speaking to you today from Regina, Saskatchewan, situated on Treaty 4, lands with a presence in Treaty 6. These are the territories of the Nihiawak, the Ashanapik, the Dakota, the Lakota, and Nakota, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. Marketing is always really high on our members' topics of interest, so we are holding regular marketing webinars now in the spring and the fall of each year. A big thank you to the companies that have sponsored this webinar and that are joining us today. Each company representative will speak for 5 minutes, and if you have any questions, please type them into the question box, and I will share as many questions as I have for at the end of each presentation. And we're going to go through just a little bit of housekeeping before we get going. So those of you who are kind of new to our webinars, this will help you out, help you to get the best or the most out of today's session. So just to help you out, close down any unnecessary programs that you might have running in the background, as this can help improve the quality and audio. All attendees are in listen-only mode, so only the moderators and panelists can speak. However, attendees can ask questions by using the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. So you'll see that question mark, and if you click on that, that's where you'll type in your questions. So if you're joining by phone, you will have been prompted to enter an audio PIN number after joining the webinar. If you did enter the PIN, please ensure that your phone is muted at all times, or we will hear whatever's going on around you. The webinar may go slightly over because we have a few extra folks who wanted to take part, and we're really grateful for that. So please do hang on to the end. At the end of the seminar or the webinar, you will receive an email with a link to the webinar recording, and that'll arrive in your inbox within a day of the live webinar. It will also include a link to all the handouts provided by our sponsors today. So finally, please bear with us as there are sometimes technical glitches with the webinars, and we will do our best to make it run smoothly. So just a quick shout out to our gold sponsors. Thank you so much. And our silver and supporter sponsors as well. And so first up is Laura from Grain Millers. Laura, I will pass it over to you. You have the floor.
All right. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you guys can all hear me. First of all, I just want to thank Sask Organics for setting this up today. It's nice to have some kind of thing going on during these times. So for those of you who don't know Grain Millers, we are a organic and conventional processing company located in Yorkton. We also buy organic and conventional brown and yellow flax that goes into our plant in Saskatoon. And occasionally we buy other cereal grains like wheat, barley, rye, triticale, and those all would go down to our mill in Iowa. As far as the oat front goes for organic, I don't have much to report on for markets. We have been out of the market for old crop and new crop for a few months now. But even though that's happened, organic demand has still been really steady. There's just a lot of supply. Compared to the conventional side, supplies are a little bit on the tighter side this year, which is why you're seeing a stronger market on the conventional side over the last few months. And we do have some opportunity for old and new crop flax right now. For old crop bids, we have a $35 picked up on farm for brown and $40 picked up on farm for yellow. And we have a special on right now for organic new crop brown flax at $36 picked up on farm. And for new crop yellow, we're at $40 picked up on farm as well. So if you want more details or want to contract, you can contact Bryce. His number is 306-933-4644. And for market updates, if you're curious and you're not on Scott Shield's email market report list, I would encourage you to sign up. So updates go out every other Friday. and they have descriptions of the organic and conventional bids and what the market's doing. So if you'd like to get added, shoot me an email. You can see it on your screen, and then I'll get you signed up. Other than that, there's a few other things going on here in Yorkton. We just started construction on a bin project, so hopefully if everything goes according to plan, we'll have 11 new bins by the end of this year, which will really help on the storage front for us. And also we have a new summer intern, Kelly. She's starting on Monday, so I'm handing over the truck keys to her, and she'll be hitting the road this summer. So if you want to visit from her and you guys can go on a crop tour, let us know and we'll get that arranged. And if you see the Grey Miller's truck around, just give her a wave or a honk, and if you see the truck around this summer. So that's all for me. Again, thanks for having me, and I guess I'll open it up to questions.
All right, that's great. Thank you, Laura. Always good to hear about expansion. That sounds like a good thing. And I know you just, I guess, fairly recently still expanded the mill as well. So yeah, there's lots going on for grain millers in Yorkton, that's for sure. I'm just looking at the question box, and this usually happens at the beginning, that the questions start coming in after we've had 2 or 3 presentations. So we actually don't have any direct questions for you at the moment. I don't know if you have handy or you would mind sharing where you were at when you had contracts open, or not. That's just
sure.
to give folks a price indication, I think would be helpful.
Perfect. So for old crop organic, we were at $7 delivered before we closed the bid. And then for new crop, we were at $6 for September to December movement delivered, and $6.25 for January to March. And then our spring bid for April to August was $6.75, which filled up. That one filled up in December of last year.
Right, and maybe another good question to ask you is, when do you usually open up your markets again? Is it that December time?
For new crop, usually it's around December. We should hopefully be back in the market for new crop again late summer this year, or early fall. So for those, if you get on Scott's Market Report, usually there's an email when things open up again.
Okay, no, that sounds great. And how do they do that? How do they get on Scott's list?
Just email me if you see my email on the screen there, and then I'll get you set up.
Okay, so that's really great. So I love it when email addresses are easy. So it's Laura's name, laura.weinbender@grainmillers.com. So if you want to get onto Scott's list, please do shoot Laura an email, because I think that is probably the best way to make sure that when announcements are being made about their contracts opening up. So thank you so much, Laura, for being here today. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate you being a sponsor for us today, a gold sponsor. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And with that, we will move on to our next presenter, next company, and that is Richardson International. And we welcome Danny. Welcome, Danny.
Hey, good morning. Thank you to everybody for being here this morning and taking part in this. Thank you to Sask Organic folks for organizing this. We do appreciate the work you guys do, and we appreciate you guys taking the time to be here this morning. I know this is a very busy time of year for a lot of producers, so that I can be a part of your day is certainly much appreciated. So Richardson International, for those of you who don't know, we are Canada's largest agribusiness. We've been serving Canadian farmers for over 150 years. Quickly growing part of our business is the organic milling program that we are currently undertaking. So we receive organic oats into 2 mills. Neither is in Saskatchewan. One is in Portage Prairie, Manitoba, and the other is in Barhead, Alberta. But in order to serve our producers in Saskatchewan, we do offer farm pickup contracts, farm pickup options. Producers are also free to deliver directly to the mills if they have the ability to do so. As I said, we provide options to pick up throughout the province. Today, we are only certified to handle organic oats. We're always on the lookout for new opportunities for other crops going forward, but as of today, we only are purchasing organic oats. So we use these raw oats to mill into products for end use customers around the world. So it's a very quickly growing market, and it's a certainly a program that we're excited to be a part of. So yeah, expectations for 2021. Well, this time of year, it's always going to be a weather market. Weather is going to be the main driver of market sentiment, I would say, going forward. Organic oat acres are generally pretty consistent, pretty constant year over year. This year, we're likely going to see some new production continuing to come into play in the Peace regions in northern Alberta. So, acres, I certainly don't think they'll be down any, but always more important than the acreage is going to be the yield, and the yield is going to be determined by weather and seeding progress, how well seeding goes going forward here. So that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on. There's always going to be a little bit of downward price pressure when new crop comes off in the fall. So I think we see some historically high values here today for old crop prices. As always, there will be a little bit of a retreat on prices as new crop comes off and new supply becomes available at the end of summer into fall. So if you have any old crop production remaining, likely, it's a good idea to at least inquire on old crop prices and try to take advantage of some of the old crop premiums that are available. So our current needs, we are buying old crop oats into our Portage La Prairie facility. We have delivery opportunities available for June. We can pick up on farm for anywhere. Even you guys way up in the northeast corner, up in Lloydminster, Humboldt, anywhere, we can take those oats on farm into Portage. So don't let even if you're 8 hours away from Portage, we're able to pick up those oats and go there. So we're also buying new crop oats into both mills, looking for oats October forward for our new crop position. Price, again, it's going to depend on where you are, what your truck rate is, but it will be competitive. A lot of on the old crop side of things, we're depending on where you are, delivered into Portage, we would be north of $8 for old crop. Delivered into Portage for new crop, we're north of $7. So farm pickup will play a factor into what your final value is, but at the very least, we're going to be competitive on our pricing side of things. So as I mentioned, we have both farm pickup and delivered options available for pricing types. And for terms on contracts, generally we can work with a variety of specs depending on what the overall quality of the crop is. Some off-spec oats at times can be handled, but with that being said, we are a miller. We have to ensure that our quality is adequate to meet our end users' demands. So we do pride ourselves on being reliable and paying promptly. As soon as that grain is off the truck, we can cut you back and we can pay. So yeah, I think that's all I really have here. I'd certainly be willing to answer any questions.
That's really great. Thanks, Danny, and some great prices there. So thank you for sharing those with us. And obviously taking into account all you said about delivery and specs and all that sort of thing. But if you do have some in the bin, it might be a good time to get a hold of Danny and others on the call, I'm sure, who will also have offers to make for us. We're really, really glad you're here and thankful for you taking part today. I noticed, I don't know if
I just wanted to point out, sorry, for prices, sorry to catch you out there, but just for prices, you can contact your closest Richardson Pioneer facility. If you're not sure of what that facility may be, feel free to send me an email there on the link provided below. But yeah, beyond that, your local Richardson Pioneer facility, they'd be very happy to help you guys. So sorry, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good information. No, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. And I know that just most of my information seems to come from Ag Twitter and Instagram and places like that, and noticed that Richardson's is also there's some expansion going on with facilities. I don't know if that's on maybe.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, it's an exciting time for Richardson. Yeah, we're building we actually just finished a new terminal in High Level, Alberta. We also have another one being built that will be operational up in the Peace in Huel in Alberta near Grand Prairie. That'll be operational this fall. Yeah, we actually are expanding our old facility. We have an old facility in England that we're expanding as well. Where our Yorkton crust plant is expanding. So yeah, a lot of things are happening, and obviously as we get more into the organic side of things as well, that's going to be very important to our strategy going forward. And you know, we'll be looking at opportunities to expand our milling and organic programs as well. So.
Okay, and just out of which terminals accept organic at the moment? Like if
So
people were going to.
our primary grain elevators are not certified to handle organic grain. So say our elevator in Dixon, Saskatchewan, or our elevator in Wadena, Saskatchewan, they're not certified to handle organic grain. We send our organics directly to the mills, and that's where our farm pickup program comes into play. We can't have organic grain going into our primary facilities that also handle non-organics, but we are able to take them directly to the mills, and the mills are all certified organic. So that's the option we provide. Maybe in the future, some of our facilities will be organic certified, and we can go down that road. But today, the best bet is just to take them directly to the mills. So.
Okay, no, that's perfect. And I think you've sort of covered these, but a couple of questions just around your current demand and your room for new contracts. Maybe if you could just touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So for old crop, we do have some space available to go into June and into July. As with most buyers, I'd say we're pretty well covered on the old crop side of things. Currently, right off the combine, and August, September, we're covered as well. But we are looking for a little bit farther out, October, November, December forward. For new crop, we have space available to buy out there. On old crop, though, we are getting pretty close to covered off. We do have some room in for June, July. Like everyone, I think with prices where they're at, producers reacted very positively to these historically high prices, and we do have a little space left to buy for old crop for producers who still want to take advantage of that premium that's being paid for old crop oats. But with that being said, we're getting pretty tight. But as for new crop, the farther out you go, the more space we have available. So.
Okay, perfect. So I guess no time like the present if you have some oats that you want to move.
Absolutely, yeah. As more oats get harvested, it gets a lot easier to buy them. So.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Danny, for your presentation today. Yeah, and we will move on to our next presentation. Thank you so much. So our next up is Manitoba Harvest, and so I would like to welcome Clarence, and thank you again, Clarence and Manitoba Harvest, for being here today and for being a gold sponsor. So thank you so much, and over to you, Clarence.
Hey, thank you, Marla, and appreciate the opportunity, and it's good to meet with everybody here again this morning, although virtually. But my name is Clarence Schwalek. I'm the Director of Farm Operations for Fresh Hemp Foods, Manitoba Harvest, and my team is responsible for growing and bringing in the raw hemp seed to our facilities, both in Winnipeg and St. Agathe. So the company name is Fresh Hemp Foods, but we do business as Manitoba Harvest and Hemp Oil Canada. You may have seen our Manitoba Harvest brands on the shelf. We are the largest hemp food processor in Canada and globally, and we have two facilities. One's in Winnipeg and one's in St. Agathe, Manitoba, just south of Winnipeg, about 15 minutes. Between the two, we have about 50 million pounds of annual capacity. It is the largest organization for hemp food production. We process hemp foods only. You may have heard hemp has other uses, whether it's the fiber or more recently the cannabinoid CBD. We're only in the food business, so we only purchase the grain production. We could connect you with other buyers of other products for dual markets, but we're specialized in food. We've been in business since 1998 when hemp was first legalized in Canada, and our founders were pioneers in the industry. The products that we sell include shelled hemp seed, known as hemp hearts, hemp seed oil. We do plant-based proteins as well, smoothie mixes, and then we're also diversifying our food products into things like bars and granola. And we continue to grow our product lines through our research and development group. As far as markets for organic hemp, predictions for 21 for hemp foods were stable, and it's a growing market. It's a great place to be when you're looking at growing organic hemp. We are more than 50% of our production now is organic, and when this fall's harvest comes into the bins, we'll probably be over 60% organic. So it's a very fast growing market. Hemp is a superfood, and consumers who look for hemp for the proteins and the omegas, they're also making healthy food choices, and they'll be looking for things like organic on the label. So it fits in very well for growers who are producing into that organic market. Giving you one example for what's happening in our markets this year, Costco is our largest customer in North America. And just before the new year, they changed their Manitoba Harvest brand, which was conventional, to organic Kirkland Signature. So they do have confidence in hemp as an ongoing product in their offering to consumers, and they put their own label on the bag. So there is some very good growing markets for hemp if you're looking at that end of things. As far as contracts go, we still do have room in 21 here for organic production contracts. Basically, if you can produce it, we have a market for it. We've always been trying to catch up with the markets, and that's no different this year. It's generally a late seeded crop, so it's not too late to consider hemp for your rotations. And we've had growers planting even up to mid-June and even later for reseeding situations and having good success. So it's one of those later crops that you can make those last-minute swing decisions in your rotations. It does require Health Canada licensing, and there's some turnaround time with that, but one of our agronomists will easily walk you through the process for doing that. It's all online. Now, speaking of our agronomists, I consider them coaches, and hemp being a specialty crop, there are some learning curves with that, and our coaches will offer guidance to growers who are new to the crop and help you with planning everything from field selection all the way through to harvest and storage. So they can get you set up from start to finish. We also provide the certified seed for your planting. So it's a real turnkey opportunity for growers looking at doing something a little different. Prices, we're starting at $1.48 this fall off the combine. Those spots are all signed up. We do offer storage premiums for later deliveries, and right now we're signing up contracts at $1.50 for midsummer delivery. And typical yields, if you wanted to figure out what returns would be, conservatively, if you got good nitrogen in the soil, good nitrogen availability, look at 500 pounds per acre, and you can estimate what total returns are. Contracts are full production. There's an act of God clause there as well. And then we set you up with one of our seed cleaning partners that are local to your area, and we manage all the freight from that seed cleaner over to our facilities. So, if you're looking at some last minute acres where you're trying to find what to put in them, if it's a good field with decent fertility, hemp would be a good fit for some later planting. You have our email address and our contact information. That number gets you direct to Scott Wolf, one of our agronomists. And if you have some acres for last minute decisions, we can set you up with everything you need to know.
Okay, that's fantastic, Clarence. You hit all the points that I was going to ask questions about. I always say my knowledge is an inch deep and a mile wide, and I had some experiences around the fringes of organic hemp production a number of years ago, and I think what might be interesting is, could you talk a little bit about the difference between growing hemp, say 10 to 15 years ago and today, right? Because people might have a memory of growing hemp that might not have been so positive, but with all of the things that you've mentioned today, it seems like a really, great opportunity and something, to consider as part of your rotation. So
it is, and you're right, Marla. Years ago when we were importing seed varieties from Russia and Ukraine and Europe, those were very tall varieties designed for primarily fiber production. Seed breeding has come a long way here, and we do run our own seed breeding program. And one of the varieties that we offer, it's known as being one of the shortest ones available here in Canada, and it's a typical grain variety, and it's much shorter than what some people have rumored to have heard on what varieties are all about. So easier harvesting, shorter, and newer combines are real good to manage the fiber content that comes through. And we're seeing growers putting it through their choppers and returning that plant matter back to the soil where it belongs. So things are much easier as far as the harvesting part of it and growing in general.
Okay, no, that's really great. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I don't have any more questions that have come into the question box, so there may be at the end, but thank you so much again, Clarence, for being here and sharing, sharing the opportunity that you have to grow hemp. So thank you so much. Okay. Next up, Avena Foods, and I'd like to welcome Matthew. The floor is all yours. And thank you to Avena Foods for your sponsorship as well. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody coming in today, and thank you for having me. My name is Matt Speidel. I am the grain buyer for Avena Foods. Who we are, Avena Foods Limited is a specialty miller of oats and pulses. We have been in the oat business going on 12 years and pulses for 85 years. We have been certified organic for 25 years. We have an oat mill located in Regina, and I'm excited to say that a second oat mill facility is being built as I speak in Rowett, which is just 5 kilometers south of Regina. In Rowett, we have a state-of-the-art oat cleaning facility, a dedicated pulse cleaning facility, and our pea splitting and packaging facility here as well. We also have a dedicated pulse milling facility located in Portage la Prairie. There we mill a range of grits, flours, and fiber. We have a purity protocol system in place that enables us to mill and market gluten-free oats that are under 5 parts per million of gluten. We buy green and yellow peas, chickpeas, large green lentils, French green lentils, black lentils, and some navy beans as well. As for the markets, the 2020 year seemed quite normal volume-wise for our oats and pulses, but we have seen more of a slowdown with COVID in 2021. Much of our organic business is in North America, so we are hoping that with their economy starting to open, we will benefit from that the last half of this year. We held our purity protocol grower school virtually this year for the first time ever, and we had very good attendance on that. That is a very important part of our contracting campaign. This year we have expanded our oat acreage once again and have completed our oat contracting for 2021. As for pulses, it is not as regimented because they are not necessarily growing under our purity protocol system. Indications for new crop we have available are on oats. 7F will be the farm for dedicated varieties. Green peas are at $18, yellow peas $15, large green lentils 80 cents. All contracts are attached with Act of God. As our end users are starting to figure out their needed quantity, options for French and black lentils will most likely be on the table, hopefully sooner than later. Thank you in advance, and I hope that you all have a safe and healthy 2021.
No, that's excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Matthew, for your presentation. Can you tell us maybe a little bit, so again, my ag Twitter knowledge coming out here. I noticed that Avena Foods is, are you involved in a soil health project at the moment?
We're working on that right now with another company. That's right. So it's in the works too, and that's pretty exciting news as well. Yeah. You know, just to get some feedback, and once we get that in place, it'll sure when we have some growers in that program, it'll give good feedback for everyone. That's for sure. Yeah.
No, that's excellent. And maybe can you talk just a little bit, for folks who aren't familiar with your gluten-free protocol, maybe just talk a little bit about that, and if you know just a little bit about the gluten-free market and what that's doing.
Well, the gluten-free market it's strong and continues to get stronger. There's more demand for it, and there's a lot of our growers that are passionate about that gluten-free, and they like being part of that program. before with Avena, I was with Best Cooking Pulses for 17 years. So I started buying these oats. I'm pretty well, 6 or 7 months in. So I'm stick handling and learning my way through this,
Yeah.
But it's a really good program, and the guys that are on board here seem to enjoy it as well.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned that because I thought that was the case, and I had to keep looking at that you were at Best Cooking Pulses. I had to keep looking at my sheet to remind
Right.
myself that that you were with Avena. So a couple of questions have come in. So the first one is, are you still looking for old crop organic peas?
I'm not looking for any old crop or organic peas. Old crop, it's possibility. We're hoping that we can sign up a few more truckloads. That's for sure. My email's down there too, so you can hit me up on that, and I can stick on my way through that to see if we're looking for any more for sure.
Okay, and maybe I missed it. Did you say whether you're buying green and yellow, or do you just buy yellow or
No,
peas?
we buy both green and yellow peas.
Okay,
That's right.
okay,
Yep.
perfect. Yeah,
Game
no,
on
that's
both.
excellent. Okay, and then another question is, what variety of oats do you buy?
We have Dancer, Minstrel, and Ruffian are our main ones that come through here. We still accept Camden and Pinnacle. There's some guys out there that are still growing some Summit. So those are probably the main 6 for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, that's perfect. Well, thank you so much, Matthew, for being here today, and thank you for your presentation. And yeah, if I'd like for all of our presenters and companies, if you hear anything that's of interest, please do get in touch. And also you'll be receiving a webinar recording, so you'll have all of this information to review again, including the contact information. So thank you so much, Matthew. We appreciate it. All right, moving on to Aliments Breton. And I hope that I did okay with my pronunciation. I'm always at these moments slightly embarrassed at the fact that I'm unilingual, and I really am thankful for.
That was good.
Good, thank you. I welcome Gabrielle here with us this morning. This is your first time at our Grain Buyer Forum, and we welcome you and thank you for being here today. And the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marla. So, hi everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you to Sask Organic for arranging this webinar. Like Marla said, this is our first time, so we look forward to getting in touch with you guys. So, for those of you who don't know our company, my name is Gabriel Breton, and the name of our company is Aliments Breton. We are organic pig producers in the province of Quebec. Our company was founded in 1944, and now we are producing organic and certified humane pork. So we are vertically integrated. We have an organic feed mill. We have organic farms, a packing plant, and also processing facilities here in Quebec and also in the US. Like I said, we've been involved in organic pig production for about 15 years now. Right now, over half of our production is organic. So we've been buyers of organic feed grains for a few years, and we purchase organic wheat, organic peas, organic rye, organic barley, organic lentils, screenings, really any type of grain that can fit in our ration. Right now, we are still buyers of organic wheat for old crop, organic peas as well, and barley. New crop will be buyers of those 3 grains as well, and screenings, and also lentils. We can purchase any type of wheat, so soft, hard, and also any type of peas, green, yellow. We've purchased in the past 4010 peas also, So it's not a problem when it comes to variety. Market for 2021, 2022. This year with the wheat quality that has been grown in Western Canada, we didn't see a lot of feed wheat coming on the market, so prices have gone up compared to last year. But we feel like prices should stay the same for 2021, 2022. Peas, on the peas side, recently peas prices have gone up as well. I feel like some mills have started using more peas as soybeans have been going high also here in Quebec and Ontario. So yeah, right now I think the market is stabilizing, but we're still offer contracts for old crop peas right now for feed peas and better. We're at around $13 a bushel. For feed wheat, we're around $10.50, and barley we're around $7.50 for old crop. New crop, we're looking at the same number for feed grains. So I know for you guys, you know, feed is usually a plan B, and I understand that. But in case you know you have some grain that is downgraded, or you're looking to grow a feed variety, feel free to contact us, and we're always buyers. We purchase throughout the year, so we don't have any specific period that we purchase our requirements. So contracts that we have, yeah, we have spot contracts. We can do forward contracting. Usually, you know, we just agree on the price, quantity, and the delivery period. And contract terms are we pay at unloading after we unload the grain at our elevator, which is on the CN in Scott, Quebec. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, yeah, feel free to ask. And no, that's it.
Okay. No, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Gabriel. I have one question right off the bat here, so we'll start with that. Do you have a market for old or new crop rye?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
yeah. So rye is when it comes to feed, rye has a little bit of a lower feed value than feed wheat, but right now prices would be at around $9 for rye.
Okay, no, that's great. And maybe could you talk a little bit about sort of your dockage tolerance? Like how does
it's when it comes to foreign material, it's 5% in feed. So we allow up to 5% foreign material, and then over 5%, let's say it's 6%, we discount 1% of the weight.
Okay, perfect. All right, and maybe can you talk just a little bit about your end products, your retail products, the foods that you
yeah,
produce?
So yeah, our packing plant is located here in Quebec, and we retail our products through our Du Breton brand, which is DUBRETON. And in the US, we sell a bit of Du Breton as well, and North Country Smokehouse. So we sell, our market is mostly North America. So we sell in Canada in Whole Foods, Sobeys, and in the US, Whole Food as well, Costco. So yeah, I don't know if we're really available in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. I think we are maybe in Alberta and British Columbia, but yeah, that's our end product is under the Du Breton brand. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. Well, we can always ask for it in our grocery stores, so that hopefully increase demand, so that you need more feed. So so to kind of create full circle there. And I do have another question's come in. Do you only buy full rail loads or Super B trucks as well?
We can do truckloads as well. Freight, you know, freight coming to Quebec. Our feed mill is in Quebec. Is usually hired by truck. So we for price offering, we prefer to do rail loads, but We have done truckloads in the past, and it works no problem. We sometimes have truck going to Western Canada, so we can always pick up something on the way back.
No, that's excellent. Thank you so much, Gabriel. I think all of the questions that have come in, you've answered, and thank you so much for your presentation and being here with us today. And I hope you get some phone calls.
Yeah, thank you,
Or
Marla.
emails. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, moving on to our next presentation, Organics Canada. Thank you, Richard, for being here with us today, and thank you, Organics Canada, for your silver sponsorship. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having us, Marla, and thanks for everybody being on the call today. Yeah, so for those who don't know, my name's Richard Reimer. I work with Organics Canada. We're fairly new into the organic trading side. We just started up in September here. Our farmyard is based out of Waldron, Saskatchewan, and that's where we do the majority of our handling. And that's for those who don't know where Waldron is, we're about 20 minutes south of Yorkton on the number 9 highway. So we do have major highway access, which you know, allows us to ship super bees, and then we also have a few rail sidings on CN and CP. To date, we primarily work with milling wheat, flax, peas, and then a variety of feed grains, and anything else that kind of comes across our desk, we'll take a look at and try and find a home for it. In terms of you know, what we're seeing in the markets right now, milling wheat, we've seen fairly steady demand throughout the year here, but the downside is there's been no real rushes. So in that sense, we've seen, you know, fairly stable pricing from September through till May, and I would expect that's kind of going to carry on through the summer here, barring we don't see any rain or some disaster in the U.S. here. In terms of feed grains, kind of following up what Gabriel was saying, the markets have moved up quite a bit this winter, and that's mainly just because we had such a good quality crop come off this year, as opposed to past years where there's been a bit more feed available. So with that said, prices have come up, you know, across the board with peas and wheat, and barley is now starting to see a bit of a surge, so that's good to see. And then, yeah, in terms of new crop, we've started to see a bit of demand here now that we're kind of getting closer into seeding. We've seen some mills start making some calls and trying to fill some needs for harvest and beyond. So we will be looking for some organic milling wheat come September, October, and today we're going to be offering out some new crop back to God contracts for first 10 bushel an acre. And we're probably looking to fill about 1,000 tons for harvest movement. And in terms of pricing on new crop, we're probably gonna be looking about $14 delivered into Waldron for a 13 protein. And again, that's with an act of God. And if anybody is interested in those contracts and does have old crop in the bin, we're also looking to pair some quick movement for old crop with that deal as well. So if you are interested, feel free to get in touch with me at the email attached here or my phone number, call or text. In terms of current pricing, we're going to be looking for some low protein with movement for May, June, July. That would be, you know, 10.5 to 12.5 protein. In terms of pricing there, we're paying about $1 a point to FOB, so long as it's dry and over 300 falling number. We're also buying some high protein 13 plus, and for that we're starting about 13.25 FOB for 13, and kind of pricing accordingly for protein. Feed grain wise, we're about 10.75 delivered. We have a bit of demand there. Wheat 10.50 delivered, and this is all into Waldron. Feed flax, I've got a bit of interest at 27 FOB farm. Screenings were $110 a ton, and then we're also looking for a bit of feed lentils, some food grade green peas, and you know, anything else that kind of comes across that you're looking to move.
All right. Thank you so much, Richard. Lots of variety there in what you're buying, which is great to hear. did you want to maybe just tell us a little bit more about Organics Canada, since you're
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I am. So I work with Travis Hyde, and we farm organically as well out in Waldron in the Moosomin area, and we've been doing that for about 8 years now. And yeah, this fall we started a trading desk, with to kind of complement the farm and to open up opportunities for producers to sell into the markets that we work with, and hopefully get them a bit more value for their grain than kind of what we've been seeing in the last couple of years. Our intent is to keep the opportunities open for producers and make things as profitable as we can for them, and keep the grain moving. Our idea is that we're going to see organics continue to grow, and we want to be a part of that and kind of help out. So.
For sure. And I just had a question come in. Any new crop contracts for feed barley? Are you guys?
No, I haven't had any new crop contracts for feed barley. I'm not thinking we will have something like that. We may have stuff for wheat and peas come across, in the next few weeks here, but yeah, nothing on feed barley, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to just talk maybe briefly about the feed barley market? Because it's quite slow compared to what it's been, in the past.
Yeah, we don't do a lot on the barley side, but barley typically is used when corn markets are moving up, and up until probably Feb, corn was still fairly affordable for the feed mills and the feedlots that were using it. Now corn prices have started to come up on the coast, so that's drawn some demand for feed barley, and we have seen a pretty healthy price increase from where it was back in January. I think it was only pricing about conventional values, and now we're seeing $750 and $675. So that market is picking up, and there's probably going to be a bit more demand here May, June, and then I would anticipate it'll probably slow down a bit again once we see corn imports coming in, and then corn crops coming off in the fall. So.
Yeah, no, that's helpful. Thank you for that. And maybe just touch on the brand as well.
Yeah, we do we brand, we do mill our own flour and a few other products. That's under a One Farm Organics brand. And yeah, you can find our products at Sobeys, online at One Farm or organicscanada.com. And yeah, we're just trying to make opportunities happen on a multitude of different platforms. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think it's, I always like to, to mention the brands as well, to again, increase that demand for the end product, so that we can, see some more demand on the input end here for our crops. So thank you so much for that, Richard. Yeah, thank you for being here today, and like with all the others, hope you get some calls, and we'll see you soon. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. All right, now we're going to move on to Pipeline Foods, and Leslie is going to join us here to tell us a little bit more about Pipeline Foods and the contracts that you have to offer. So thank you so much for being here, Leslie, and the floor is yours.
Thanks, Marla. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is safe and healthy right now during these unprecedented times. I'm sitting in Winnipeg here today, and we are in our newest round of restrictions, as we all are. So we're looking forward to this being over sooner rather than later. I am with Pipeline Foods quite proudly, and we are a 4-year-old company that's focused on organic grain. We were established in 2017 with our global headquarters in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Canadian headquarters are here in Winnipeg. Our locations are Wapella and Gull Lake, Saskatchewan, as well as Bowbells and Lake Knight, North Dakota. Depending on the commodity, depending on the sale, different grains go to different elevators as needed. Markets, I mean, everyone's done a great job kind of touching base on what we're seeing out there on both the food and the feed side. One thing I would like to mention right now is that our Canadian dollar is very high. I believe we're just over 81 cents right now compared to our US counterpart. So that is affecting grain going south and into those markets right now. Currently, old crop, we're looking for feed wheats, food grade yellow peas, and durum specifically. And values, yellow peas go into our Gull Lake facility around that $14 mark. And yeah, so we're interested in hearing from you if you have any of that left in your bins. New crop, we provide active God contracts that are tonnage based. Obviously gets you into the queue for delivery off the combine if that's something that's beneficial for you. And we're interested again in those organic yellow food grade peas and durum. Wheat, we do have a new crop contract as well, and it is full for the August through Dec. However, January forward, we're between that $13 to $14 FOB price range with around that 13% protein. So again, depending on what you're able to offer us, we do have some market potential for you. You feel free, obviously my information is there on the screen. However, Lauren Licks is still with us making the calls. I do have people asking if he is with Pipeline Foods. He is, so feel free to reach out with him as well, or myself again as it's listed below. And similarly to grain millers, we do provide a market wire that goes out on a regular basis, provides our up-to-date bid sheets, as well as market information, micro, macro levels, what we're seeing, and just gives you a bit of a glimpse of what sort of crops are in demand. And we look forward to hearing from you, and I hope everyone again stays safe and well. Thanks.
That's great. Thank you so much, Leslie. It's great to have you here. And yeah, good information about the market wire. I think it's helpful, to get that, different perspectives from different buyers, just to see what's going on from their perspective. Like you said, macro, micro, and yeah. So I would encourage folks to get in touch with Leslie to get signed up for that. And if anybody else has something like that who's on the panel today and didn't mention it, maybe you can just shoot an email to Deb to let her know about it. And when we send the email out to the folks on the call today, we can include that information in that email so that we can give you all a little exposure for those emails as well. So I haven't had any questions come in. We have a pretty quiet audience out there. I always think it's, people or the presenters have been thorough in their presentations, and I'm sure there will be some questions and calls after the forum today. So thank you again, Leslie. It's great to see you, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right. Now, moving on to GSL, or Grain San Laurent, another new first-time organic grain buyer forum participant. So thank you so much, Zaina and Connor, for being here with us this morning. And the floor is yours.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm Connor McKenzie. I've just a little introduction about me. I've worked in the organic space for about 7 years now, and I've been with GSL for 3.
Hi, I'm Zaina. Nice to meet you. I'm sat in our Montreal headquarters. And just to give you a bit of background information, so GSL, or Grain San Laurent, is part of McGill San Laurent, which is the parent company. In our Montreal office here, we have 3 trading divisions: lumber trading division, energy trading, and last but not least, the grains. Like I mentioned, our headquarters are in Montreal, and we have representatives in Calgary and New York as well. We work a lot with certified organic, non-GMO, and conventional grains, pulses, and oilseeds. We generally handle most of the grains on the market. We have a focus on some specialty and niche products, such as organic flax, hemp, some ancient grains such as spelt, red fife, and rye. And we supply to both the feed and the food industries. And our main business is really working with farmers and producers in Canada and marketing to end users in Canada and the US as well. So we've been around for almost a decade with Grain San Laurent, and we don't generally engage in exports, but we have been working with a couple of our customers selling at the ports. But like I mentioned, most of our business is local and to the US as well.
And yeah, I can provide a bit of a, I think everyone here did quite a good job assessing the market. I mean, with the pandemic, it's obviously been pretty crazy, not just in a lot of end users having trouble forecasting demand and what their needs are going to be, but also in the shipping industry. A lot of organic grains get moved in containers, and a lot of people have had problems with that. So that's had a big impact. And then in addition, the US dollar and Canadian exchange going from, I think, about 1.4445 at one point now to down like 1.24. So a big change, which really affects, prices that producers in Saskatchewan see for sure. And in terms of expectations for 2021, I think there's still a good opportunity for old crop out there. We've definitely seen feed strengthen. I think, like Gabriel was mentioning, there's soybean meal which is like a major ingredient for a lot of feeders, especially down in the States. It's become quite tight, so they're having to up their inclusions of other commodities. So feed barley, feed wheat, corn. So we've definitely seen a strengthen for old crop, and I think there's some good opportunities if anyone's still holding on to anything in the bins. As well, it might be an opportunity to take a look at low protein wheat that you have, seeing if because the feed market has strengthened. I know a lot of producers had beautiful #1 quality hard red spring wheat with like 400 falling number, but the protein just wasn't there. And so I think now it might be a good time to take a look at seeing where the feed market would be for you guys, and that might be a good opportunity to get some stuff moved. In terms of on the human consumption side, we've seen a lot of demand for dry beans, organic dry beans. So pintos, navies, black turtles, that might be something to look at as well for new crop. Lentils has been a bit more of a quiet one. I know we usually contract quite a bit of large greens, blacks, and French greens, not a huge amount of reds. But I think there's going to be some new crop opportunities popping up here shortly for contracts on those. And additionally, rye is old crop rye, I think is a good opportunity at the moment. If you're holding on to anything, there's a variety of different markets that are looking for it. So.
And just to give you guys a perspective from where I'm sat in the east, we're seeing a few different effects come in place. With last year, with the bad weather, ended up having a bad harvest for the small organic grains there. The yield was much lower than expected. So there was a very short supply on the eastern side, and the prices increased a lot. That fear of the low yield has gotten some producers to back out of growing those small grains again. So going into 2021, 22, we'd expect the prices to still continue being on the higher side. In terms of organic corn, we're seeing an abundance of corn in the markets. Last year, for the last year's crop, it was the prices had gone, were at close to 420, 430 at harvest, and had gone up to 520, 530 at market value later. This year, farmers are unable to get 420, 430, and we're being offered anywhere between the $380 and $400 picked up at the farm, which made it tough. They're still holding on to the crops, and the buyers are still not paying. And we're seeing an opposite effect come in place with soybeans, where generally buyers don't contract out a huge volume ahead of time and usually buy as they go with market value. But seeing as the prices have increased nearly 30% since February, we're seeing a lot of those buyers aggressively contracting at harvest and prices going as high as $1,100 per metric ton FOB farm. And we're still seeing the prices increase. So I think for going into the next season here, the prices are going to continue being on the higher side here as well.
Okay, that's great. Sorry, I actually lost connection there for a bit. So I am back in, which I am happy. So I missed just a little bit of what you said, but there is a question that has come in. So do you have a market for triticale?
For now, I wouldn't say we have a market. We do occasionally get some demand for it, but we're not regularly buying it.
Okay.
So I'll just say, like, my experience with organic triticale is that I will get a call for someone who needs it desperately, and when that happens, I can't seem to find any triticale anywhere. And then, of course, when there is some available, it seems like no one's looking for it. It's definitely one of those tougher ones that a few people use that are in smaller volumes. But yeah, it's definitely, if whoever asked the question, if you want to shoot me an email or give me a ring, it's I definitely do have those calls pop up. So it's definitely good to know that you grow it or that it would be available.
Okay, no, that's really helpful. And sorry, I've just had a message in from Gabriel saying that they are purchasing triticale as they use it in their feed. So if somebody has it, to maybe get in touch with Gabriel. And while I'm anyway answering questions from a different presentation, Clarence has also answered a question that somebody had about, is it too late to apply for a Health Canada hemp production license? And he said he said get in touch if you're interested. It's good to start now, and they can walk you through the steps. But back to your presentation. When I'm really thankful for you being here today, because you've mentioned a number of crops that I would say there are fewer buyers for on the prairies at the moment. So kind of that bean market, the red lentil market, some of our some of the buyers who are on the forum do buy those, but I think to have another option available to farmers is great. And then also the ancient grains. That's the more niche markets seem to be where you're focusing your attention. And also, mentioning that your focus in general is domestic, going into the U.S. as well. But I guess there's less foreign exchange risk there when you're buying and selling in Canada. So that's really great. So thank you.
Just to add a little bit on the ancient side. So in the East, we're working on a buckwheat program, and we're contracting out to a couple of the ancient grains as well. So this is mainly for the Ontario, Quebec, northeastern states, but we're interested in expanding that program out west. So if there are any producers of buckwheat, spelt, red 5 that would be interested, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email, and we can see if we can find some opportunity to either bring some out east or to find opportunities in the west as well.
That's excellent. Thank you, Zaina. All right. Well, thank you again for being here with us today. We really appreciate it, and look forward to working with you a little more in the future. So thank you for being here, and we'll move on to our next presentation, which is FW Cobs. And Ben, thank you for being here. We appreciate it, and thank you also for your sponsorship.
Thank you, Marla, and just wanted to thank Marla and Deb for putting this together as always, and Sask Organics, always look forward to speaking with everyone. And given the current climate we're in, it's always good to have an opportunity, a forum to get in front of producers. So really appreciate that. As I said, I work with FW Cobs. I'm one of the main buyers here. Also, Pete Manahan is the other main buyer. And we've been in business for about 15 years. And we're strictly organic. Don't do anything non-GMO or anything like that. And that's our main focus is feed ingredients. So main things that we buy are barley, feed wheat, screenings, peas, a little bit of oats, feed oats here and there. And yeah, so just wanted to keep everyone up to date on the current pricing. My role is a little unique in that I work both with Canadian farmers and also farmers in the US. So it's right now, given the current conditions of the market, it's always interesting to see the trends. And you know, the three main drivers of the market from our seat, what we see is you know, always growing conditions. And right now, you know, certainly have some major concerns as far as the amount of moisture levels out there. A lot of guys, obviously in Saskatchewan, are having a tough time. You know, not enough moisture in the ground and are a little worried. And also down in the States as well, in the Midwest, big corn and big soybean areas are also very dry as well. So that's one thing that we're really looking at right now. You know, when we're out, you know, forecasting for new crop pricing. The other one is the import market. You know, just seeing what levels things are coming in at and at what price, because, you know, a lot of end users are basing what they'll pay in the US or in Canada off of, you know, what the grain can be imported for. You know, like it or not, that's a reality of it. Importing isn't something that we do, and we've made a commitment to not do that until we feel there's a, not that we do plan on doing it, but feel like things can get solved a little better out there, and you know, make sure that all the grain that's brought in is done so with integrity. You know, the other main factor that I feel, and a few others mentioned it as well, is you know, just the currency pricing, and the price right now has softened a little bit on the US dollar, which actually is a good thing because it does make imports come in more expensive, which in turn should increase the in price for the North American producers. So certainly a good sign. Right now on what we're seeing is a little bit of holding pattern on the corn price. It stayed pretty steady, but the problem with that being is a lot of producers are holding their corn and soybeans with anticipation of you know, the price going up with what the conventional market's done. So you know, we're hoping that the organic markets will keep going up in the States, because when the corn price and the soybean price goes up, we start to see the demand for small grains increase on the feed market for wheat, barley, screenings, other things. They're looking to supplement and be able to feed their animals, livestock as cheap as they can. So having said that, just want to provide some bids. And right now, old crop, we're looking at barley. We're paying $7.50 delivered to our elevator in Lorburn, Saskatchewan. If you do want any picked up pricing, we certainly have some trusted transportation companies that we work with that deal with mostly organic. So I have a lot of good truckers that we work with and can provide you a picked up price anywhere in Canada. New crop, we're looking at 7 to 7 1/4 on barley, and we are willing to do contracts right now on that. Feed wheat market, old crop anywhere from 9 1/4 to 9.50 delivered to the elevator. New crop looks pretty similar to that as well. Pea price, old crop, we're looking at $13 and maybe a little bit more later in the summer for feed peas. Take 4010s, greens, yellows. Certainly not too picky on that regard. And foreign material, we're looking at about 5% there on any of our feed grade grains. So new crop on peas, anywhere from 12 to 12.50. Certainly if you're thinking about doing a contract and a certain time frame works best for you, just let us know and we can give you exact pricing on that. And we are offering contracts right now. Screenings, we're at 140 a metric ton delivered to Loreburn. You know, also can do a mixed load as well. So if you should have, say, half a load of screenings, half a load of peas, or half a load of feed wheat, any kind of combination, and we can certainly make that work. Or if you have a neighbor that has half a load and you have half a load, we're certainly willing to try and make something work with you. You know, we're a small family-owned company, so we certainly have a little more flexibility as to what we can do and payment terms, stuff like that. We're really flexible, so it's one of the good parts about working for a small family-owned business. Rye, right now, we are looking for some feed rye, anywhere from $6.75 to $7.50 on that. New crop kind of falls into the same numbers as well. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have for today, and certainly would welcome any questions that anyone might have.
All right. Thank you so much, Ben, for your presentation and the information you've provided. I just had I haven't had any questions come in from attendees, but I have a couple of questions for you. Maybe just talk a little bit again about dockage of foreign material and, you know, in your feed grains there. What is your tolerance?
Yeah, 5%, and you know, we kind of use that as a just kind of a baseline number. You know, if somebody brings in something that's 7%, and I know that in the elevator we have something that averages around, you know, 3, you know, we try and be you know, as fair as possible. If we can blend it off and, you know, just send it out where it's still around that 5%, we try to be as fair as we can and keep as much money in the producer's pocket. So anything that's over the 10 though, you know, we do tend to have to clean. So then we have a, you know, a cleaning charge, and you know, we do have a great cleaning system there, and we charge about, if that were to happen, say somebody were to have 10 or 15% or a higher dockage, you know, that does happen on certain years. You know, we'd be looking at about a 60 cent bushel, cents a bushel cleaning charge. But with that, we would buy the screenings back from you at the 140 price, so that would offset a lot of your cleaning costs right there. And then,
right.
So.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. And then I just had one question. You mentioned some farmers are holding on to the, you know, corn and soybeans, just hoping that, you know, there'll be some upward pressure on price based on what's going on in the conventional world. And I was just wondering, how is that, or is it impacting in demand for other feed grains at the moment? And is it having any impact there, like increasing demand, or is the supply okay at the minute or on the demand side?
Yeah, good question. And I think what we ran into in fall at harvest time was that we were kind of at a low point. Corn was around anywhere from, in US, about $6.25 to $6.50. And I think a lot of end users bought as much as they could at that time, because they maybe anticipated that, or probably anticipated that things were going up and felt like that was the bottom. So I think what's going to be interesting this summer is seeing, you know, once that corn runs out, or the soybeans or the barley, you know, from when they bought at the low times, you know, how much is going to be needed to bridge the gap to the next harvest. And I think that's going to dictate the price a lot. So.
Right. Yeah, no, that's excellent. Well, thank you. Oh, I do have one question that's come in. Just wondering what the demand year over year for feed barley is or has been.
Yeah, that's always been something that, and I feel like I say this every time, but we've never been able to buy enough. We're always looking for it. I feel like we always have, you know, a pretty fair price on it. I mean, some of the producers may disagree with that, but you know, given the current market and other bids out there, I feel like we have a really strong price, especially in relation to where the corn price is, because usually there needs to be a little bit of you know, a certain amount of difference where, you know, it has to be a little bit lower than what corn is, because if everything's equal, they'd buy the corn to, you know, to feed the cows and livestock and chickens and other things. So, you know, given where the corn price is right now, I think that the barley is priced, I'm not saying higher than it should be, but higher than it normally is. So, you know, we're excited for this upcoming summer, and really hopeful that all the producers will get the rain that they need to have a great 2021 harvest.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much, Ben. Yeah,
Thank you.
we're all waiting for the moisture. Thank you so much. And now we'll move on to our final presentation for the morning. Sunrise Foods International, welcoming Bill to the forum. Thank you so much for being here today, Bill, and thank you, Sunrise, for your silver sponsorship. So over to you.
Thanks for having me, Bill Longman with Sunrise Foods International. Thanks to Deb as well for setting this all up and getting some of us computer illiterate people a little more on board. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I know you guys are busy. It's seeding time coming up here around the corner, so everybody's got a lot of work to do. So it's nice to have a few people tuning in to hear what we have to say. As I mentioned, grain merchandiser with Sunrise Foods. I've been about 6 years, coming to you from the man cave. Already had COVID a month ago, so just trying to get over that. I hope everybody else is safe. Sunrise Foods, we've been around in the organic space now for quite some time. Started in '97 in a basement of a house in Saskatoon. Glenn and Ann Neufeld started it up. Their son Jake Neufeld has taken over the reins in the past 10 years, and we've really experienced a lot of growth. I think we're up to maybe 70 staff members maybe around the globe, and we've got a few facilities, some processing agreements in various countries and various places that you know, when we're selling our products, and it's been good. We've expanded, you know, from doing organic milling and feed into food ingredients. We're trying to trade some organic oils, nuts, seeds, and a lot more pulses. So we're trying to grow the organics, and it's been going well up until this year. Of course, that was a big wrench that went into everybody's plans. Nobody saw this COVID thing coming. It's been hard. We were kind of already a down cycle in organics anyway, on a downtrend. We'd seen a lot of large farms come into organics, a lot of fast tracking. Oversupplied markets had some pretty good crops, so we were kind of on a downtrend, and COVID came along and kicked us while we were down. We're looking back over the fence at the conventional guys who hit the perfect storm of, you know, countries that are short product, that are hoarding grain, there's a fear-based buying, and then just weather issues. So it's been tough for everybody in organics here, but I think things we'll pull out of it. We always do. A farmer always has to be an eternal optimist, so we'll all get through this. It's been nice to see some moisture in parts of Saskatchewan, some snow, some rain. We definitely need some more, some dry areas out there. As you go from the southeast up into northwest, up through Alberta, things are a lot better, but there's definitely some dry spots. So we're watching that. The Canadian dollar, as was mentioned a few times by some of the other panelists, is an issue, and it's getting a little worse right now. So that makes trading a little tough. Prices tend to sag a little bit with that. So yeah, I guess I can get into our bids. At Sunrise, we buy almost everything, I guess, in the organic space. We don't really touch hemp and a few of the specialty markets like that. Buying everything from oats and wheat, durum rye, barley, flax, mustard, lentils all the way through. Our wheat has probably been our biggest dog right now. That's probably the worst oversupplied market. We've been trying to chew through it. We had forward sold some to try to get some of this out of the bins. If we don't move some of this wheat, I'm afraid this is just going to get worse. So we've been moving wheat. Price hasn't been great. You know, maybe 12 bucks, 12.50 on a 13. Picked up in the yard, mind you. Everything we do is picked up pricing. We can't arrange delivered prices. Our oats probably hanging around $6 in the yard for old crop, maybe better, depending on where you're at. New crops probably in the same range, six-ish. Picked up again, a little freight dependent. Feed wheats, old crop feed wheats, probably somewhere in the $9.5 range in your yard. And we've been moving a fair bit of that, as other people have alluded to. There was been we get good crops, you have a little bit of a shortage of feed sometimes. Durum, we're full on our old crop contracts. New crop durum, probably $14.50 in the yard on a 13 protein. Soft white wheat, filled that up twice on some new crop contracts, so it's been fairly popular as well. And are full on our old crop as well right now. Rye, we do buy a lot of rye as well. Old crops anywhere from $9.50. New crops kind of looking the same. It won't be long here, and we'll be into the new crop rye before we know it. Feed barley, some of the companies, as mentioned on here, getting a little aggressive on feed barley. We've done a lot of our barley business, I guess, previous. We're probably somewhere around $6.50, $6.75 in your yard. So depending on where you're at, it's still probably a decent bid. New crop feed barley, probably going to be similar. We'll have to firm some of that up. It's going to depend a little bit on what this corn does right now. Malt, barley malt, we're going to be probably doing another program here shortly, trying to get that firmed up. And if anybody's interested in growing two-row, definitely give us a shout. Brown flax, looking at right now, old crop, probably anywhere in the $35 range, maybe 36. New crops, probably 34 picked up. We just do a CGC dockage, so we don't do an elevator plus 3%. So that'll make $1 a bushel difference on your bid. Gold flax, pretty much non-existent right now. It's kind of like a unicorn. So if you have any, give us a call. We'll see what we can find. You probably got a good $1 out of it today. Feed flax as well, not a lot around. We've filled most of our customers, but some of them have shied away from the prices. But you get some good dollars definitely in the 20s. Yellow peas, not doing a new crop program as of yet. You definitely hear some bids bouncing around. We're still buying a few old crop peas, maybe 13.5 in your yard. Feed peas. Again, give us a shout. We don't have a lot of demand now. We've covered a lot of it, but give me a call and we'll see what we can find for you. Yellow mustard, probably buy some old yellow mustard. Anywhere 75 cents a pound, maybe better depending on your dockage and your quality. We've got to color sort it. New crop yellow mustard we'll be buying as well, probably in the low 70s. Brown mustard, new crop, probably 70 cents. And lentils, we're running large green, French green, and black lentils as well again this year. We bought a lot. I think we've got some new sales just come on here, so we'll probably be doing some more tonnage. So if you want to give us a call on that, we can figure out where you're at, and we might do some more limited tonnage on lentils. And screenings, been at FW they buy some screenings as well. We do some picked up on farm screenings. Probably 120 a ton right now in your yard. So, and again, we can do split loads as well. So, it's quite a list there. I went through it pretty quick, but I mean, if anybody has any questions, don't be afraid to give me a shout. Just hoping we get things straightened out. Everybody goes and gets their vaccine. Maybe get this world opened up and get back to normal, whatever that's going to be. Thanks.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. I'm so sorry to hear that you had COVID, but that you are clearly on the mend. So that is good news. And I'll second everybody get vaccinated if you're eligible to do so to help us find some sort of new normal that doesn't look like this, where we're in various levels of lockdown. So, and thank you, again for your presentation. You did go through quite a number of crops, which is, I think, although the pricing might not be, like you said, as good news as farmers would like to hear, there seems to be a lot of different crops and availability for movement, right? And that can be important this time of year. So, well, any time of year, but this time of year, if you're trying to create bin space and all that sort of things, that people are going to be starting to think about at this time of year. And I did have one question come in, and now.
We might have lost Marla again. Oh, Marla.
Am I? I don't know what. Am I back? I don't know what's up with my internet today, and I'm in Regina. Like I should have no excuse for connectivity issues, but sorry about that. I have. So I don't know. Did you get the question? The question was, do you have? Sorry.
I didn't hear you there, Marla. What your question was?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. That's totally no. I dropped out there. So it was just old crop organic green peas. Did you have any bids or contracts with the minister?
Green peas, not at the moment. No. I think the Avena was maybe looking for some green peas, maybe new crop, but right now we're not into green peas right at the moment.
Okay. No, that's perfect. Okay, well, thank you so much, Bill, and all of our panelists today. We really appreciate you. Yeah, thank you taking the time to be here with us today and sharing your markets and prices. So I'm just going to go through a few last slides, and first and foremost to thank you to all of our sponsors, our gold sponsors. Grain Millers, Richardson International, and Sunrise Foods International. Our silver sponsors, FW Cobs, Manitoba Harvest, Avena Foods, GSL, Aliments Breton, and Organics Canada. And our supporter sponsors, Pipeline Foods and PHS Organics. And we have a little bit of exciting news here. We're starting up a monthly on-farm research and organic agronomy meeting, which will be happening virtually. Dunling Wang, who is our alternative cropping system specialist with the Ministry of Ag here in Saskatchewan, is going to be facilitating those calls. So our first one is coming up in May, the first Wednesday in May, which I believe is the 5th. So we hope that you'll come along and join us for that call. So it's really an opportunity for you to ask any questions you have if you're interested in doing on-farm research and want a little advice and support on how to do that. Dunling will be there to answer all of your questions. So we're pretty excited about this new opportunity. And then again, just a shout out for past webinar recordings. They're available on our website to purchase if you missed them the first time around. And also Advancing Organics the same. So if you didn't register when unable to attend our conference at the end of March there, you can purchase access, and you will have access to all of the presentations as well as the exhibit hall. So you'll be able to see the booths that were there or that are there for Advancing Organics. And that's it for us today. So thank you to all of you who have tuned in today and registered for the webinar. You will, again, you receive an email in the next couple or within a day that includes the link, so you can watch the recorded webinar at any time. There'll be some handouts as well. And again, a reminder to our grain buyers, if you have marketing emails that you send out, please let Deb know, and we can include the information on how folks can sign up for those in the email that goes out to registrants. And there will be a short survey following this webinar, and we would be grateful if you would take a moment or two to let us know, to provide us with some feedback on today. So thank you again. Safe harvest. Let's hope that you get moisture when you need it. And yeah, we'll see you at the next one. Thank you so much.